All right, guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel, Shreveport-Bossier Home Guides, where we talk all things Northwest Louisiana, Shreveport-Bossier specifically, and all things real estate related. So subscribe, hit the like button, follow us, get some more content about this great area and all things real estate. All right, let's jump right into it. Just wanted to hit on a few topics. And the main thing is what I like the best about the Shreveport-Bossier area, Northwest Louisiana, and Louisiana as a whole, as a state. Guys, listen, I love it. I've been in this area approximately 25 years, off and on. And I say off and on, I grew up in a military family. My dad was in the Air Force and retired here at Barksdale Air Force Base. And so I got here in 1997. I went to high school here, graduated, and then I joined the Army. So I was gone for a little bit, came back for a little bit, married a girl from Shreveport. And so I've been here longer than I've been anywhere else as a whole, and absolutely love the area. There's a few things that I like about it the most, and I know it's going to be slightly cliche. I would say I love the food, I love the people, and I love the weather. Those three things I just wanted to kind of briefly hit on because if you're thinking about moving to this area, these are some of the things that I want you to consider, because those are my favorite parts of the state of Louisiana, the people of Louisiana, and the food of Louisiana. It is absolutely unmatched across the board. It cannot be said any greater than that. So let's dive into that just for a minute. So let's talk about the food. Guys, listen, I've traveled all over the world. I've been everywhere you could imagine. I've been on almost every continent except for Asia, and we have the best food in Louisiana. It's got flavor on top of flavor. There's different types of foods, different types of proteins. It's wonderful. You're not going to go wrong. Some of the people who are not necessarily used to flavor, they'll say like it's spicy. Well, it's really not spicy. Those are spices, but that's our flavor. That's what it tastes like. That's what it should taste like. Salt, pepper, garlic powder, red pepper, cayenne, all of the good stuff should be in your food. It's amazing. Every time I travel now, we go to different places, and it just doesn't taste the same. So the food here is amazing, not just the Cajun Creole food, but just our food across the board. We have some great restaurants here, and in some other videos in the future, we'll look into those a little bit closer. But the food by far is one of my favorite things. The other thing is the people. Now, I'm sure there's some crazy folks out there, some people that you're like, hey, look, I'm not, I can't say it 100%. However, most of the people are very, very friendly. Most people wave to each other. Most people talk to each other. Most people smile to each other. I know that's not the case in other areas, but it is definitely that way here. We like to have a good time. We like to share with each other. We like to, spend time with each other. Most people will have get-togethers, family cookouts, friend cookouts, crawfish bowls, all of those things that you hear about on TV. We definitely do that here. And it's really because of that friendship, that fellowship, just being around each other, a lot of music, a lot of laughter, a lot of great stories. So the people absolutely make Louisiana amazing. And the last thing is, let's talk about weather. Now, look, if you're like me, I love warm weather. I don't care for cold weather at all. I think it's awful. It's cold. It hurts. My body hurts. Everything about it's bad. But in Louisiana, for the most part, it's hot, right? It's warm enough, warmish, pretty hot. And sometimes. So there is a slight swing in terms of extremes. There are times where we're at over 100 degrees, in addition to our 100% humidity. That's probably the biggest piece that most people have a hard time with, is the high percentage of humidity. It absolutely does feel like you just sweat constantly. So you get out of the shower hot, you sweat in there. So there's a lot of sweating in that, but what's great about technology and where we live today is we have air conditioning. So it's enjoy the air conditioning. We need it here. We have to have it here. But it does have about that August time frame you could be looking at in the around 100-degree weather. Now, if we fast forward to the cold extreme side, generally around February is our coldest month, but that January, February time frame can get pretty pretty chilly. We don't have a lot of snow here, but what we do get a lot of is ice. And now why that matters is we have a lot of bodies of water in Louisiana. We have a lot of bridges and a lot of overpasses. And so because we get ice, generally speaking, those roads will be shut down because we don't have the equipment necessarily to go salt the roads or do any of that stuff. So generally they'll just kind of shut them down for a little bit, let Mother Nature do its thing and warm everything back up, and then we get back on the road. So it's a little different than maybe what you're experiencing in the colder environment areas where you guys are prepared for that. We are not. We'll have at times some pipes break on our houses because of the cold, extreme cold. We'll have some of like, for example, our pool pumps may have some challenges after a freeze because we're just really not quite set for that. So we have extremes on the high end, extremes on the low end. But for the majority of our year, let's say 7 to 9 months, it's going to feel really good to warm. Really good to warm, that's what I say. So around that 65 to about 85, it's probably about the average that we go through. And to me, that's super comfortable. I can put a coat on low, I can just get a t-shirt on high, and that just, it just works. So if you like warm weather, we have it here. If you like less of the cold weather, we have it here. If you like snow, it's probably not the right spot for you, but we'd love to have you. We'd love to feed you down here. We'd love to have a conversation about your family and all of those things because that's what we're about down here. So just wanted to touch with you real quick, just kind of show you some things that I personally love about Louisiana, the people, the food, and the weather.
All right, guys, so this video, what we're going to talk about is I would say probably our 3 biggest kind of concerns or questions from buyers when they're moving to this area of Northwest Louisiana. One of those is schools. Where are the kids going to go to school? Where am I going to go to school possibly? So just wanted to cover a little bit of that. Also wanted to talk with you just briefly about, okay, so now that we've got some school stuff out of the way, what about sports, or what kind of activities are outdoors? So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then last, we'll just kind of hit on what I would think is one other major concern for most people. All right, so from the schools perspective, we have, in my opinion, we have really good public schools across Shreveport and Bossier. You could look at websites like greatschools.org under Louisiana and try to see where they rank in terms of their test scores, demographics, structure, however that is, the physical locations of those schools. So we have really good public school systems. And again, take a look at that or give us a call. We can talk through those things. But we also have some private schools as well. And then we have some parochial schools for like, Catholic schools and faith-based schools like that. So there is a wide range of schooling options, obviously from, kindergarten up. And there are Mother's Day Out programs for like pre-K. Those things are really good as well, just to kind of obviously, getting some support and assistance with the Mother's Day Outside, and then also getting the pre-K, like getting them ready for kindergarten. That's been really good. Now, I will say from the Mother's Day Outside or even daycares, there can be a little bit of a wait list on those. So if you are thinking about moving to this area, make sure that you at least get with us or, do your internet search for what type of options are out there, so you could at least start calling around, possibly getting on those wait lists, because they can be a little bit of a time. So keep that in mind when you're looking at those types of things, because it will really help you as you get to this area. You're not also 6 months behind when it comes to getting them set up on daycare. Aside from like your regular primary schools, now let's talk about colleges as well, just briefly, just because for some of you moving, you still may be interested in it for you personally. Maybe you've got children that are going to be coming with you that are going to be kind of getting into that age, and you're starting to see, well, what type of schools are out there. We have a lot of college opportunities in this area. We have Louisiana Tech that's local. It's also, they have a local campus here in the Bossier City area, but they also have one in Ruston, which is about 45 minutes or so east of where we are. We have Southern University in Shreveport. We have Louisiana State in Shreveport. We have Centenary College, which is a private school, which is a great organization as well. We have Bossier City Community College. We just have so many colleges. We have the LSU Health Sciences Center, which is the medical school. They have physical therapy, OT, all of those. Northwestern State has a campus in Shreveport, and they primarily have one of the nursing schools here. So Northwestern State is actually out of Natchitoches, which is about 45 minutes or so south of where we are in the Shreveport-Bossier area, 40 minutes. But they have a satellite campus here in the Shreveport area, and that campus has the main nursing program. So that program is good. They have a registered nursing program there, nurse practitioner programs there. I think they have a doctoral program as well. So you can see like there's a really wide range in terms of college options. So, from a school perspective, all the way down from Mother's Day out, daycare, kindergarten, primary schools, and colleges, there are a ton of options. Give me a call there. We can talk. I've probably gone to all of them. But give me a call. We'll talk about those and see kind of how you feel about that, about moving to this area. All right. So the other thing is we talk about, one of the things that we do a lot around here is going to be sports and outdoors activities. Like hunting and fishing is really popular here. Obviously, it's just, it's warm usually outside. So we're usually out either on lakes, fishing or skiing. And so that's there. But then you think about, okay, so what are we going to do in terms of activities for the kids? We have parks and recreation departments, both for Shreveport as well as for Bossier. And those parks and recreations departments really do a phenomenal job of supporting the community for baseball opportunities, basketball, softball, soccer, football, all of your major sports. There are and have been some private organizations and groups that have come together for helping you set up things like lacrosse is starting to be a little bit bigger here than it used to be. Things like volleyball is starting to become more popular here than it used to be. Of course, there are some travel associations within those various sports as well. There's always kind of that option, and those are still here as well. Baseball is probably, I would say, one of our more heavy sports just because you can kind of play it year round. And so because of that, they do play that quite a bit. So you have your parks and recreations like Little League organizations. You have your Dixie leagues as organizations, and then you have your travel teams. So you have a lot of opportunities within your baseball stuff. And I would say the same thing kind of within basketball. You have your park and recreations leagues, and then you have your AAU stuff. So those are there. Soccer is going to be the same thing. You're going to have your travel stuff as well as your rec leagues, and then football is going to be your parks and recreation stuff until they hit about 6th grade. So if the child can play for their middle school in 7th grade, then they wouldn't play the parks and rec side. But if they wanted to still do travel football with some leagues, they can do that, of course. So it's really kind of how you want to structure that. But in terms of opportunity, softball as well. I know I mentioned that earlier, but softball as well is in there. And then, like I said, volleyball. So it's really on how you choose to want to spend your time in that regard or support your child in that. But we have a lot of opportunities. So, of course, give me a call. We can talk through those things as well. And I may do another video in the future where I'll show those parks and where those locations are, just so you can kind of get a sense of them. And if you don't want to see that, you can always call me and we can set up a call, or I can, FaceTime and we can figure that out. So just wanted to kind of hit on that because I know when you're moving to another area, it's kind of a little bit concerning of what's out there, what's going to be there for us to utilize. Of course, the internet's great and Facebook and all of those, so you can see some of that stuff, but it's kind of nice to have somebody on the ground to kind of share with you that there is ample sporting opportunities. Fishing to be a big thing here. Hunting continues to be a big thing here, and then of course all of your normal sports. So those will keep you, I promise you, busier than you probably want to be. Last thing I just wanted to kind of hit on was I know for the majority of people, at least in this area anyway, churches would be a big question and concern. We have all typical, traditional, normal denominations of churches would be here, from Catholics to Methodists to Christians to Baptists to you name it, Church of Christ. I mean, you could go on forever. I'm not trying to exclude anything, but they don't call it the Bible Belt for nothing. We have churches probably, on every corner. So you should definitely be able to find a church home for you and your family that would support you in that. And again, that would cover for any denomination if that's of interest for you. So just wanted to kind of get on here and just kind of go through some of those major kind of life points that most people would be concerned with is, hey, what about school options? What's out there? What about some activities outside? What does that look like? And then what does our church options look like? All of those have a wide range of opportunity, and I think you'd be very pleased with those. And give me a call if you have any questions about that kind of stuff so we can talk through it, share with me a little bit, and I'll share with you about my story and different stuff here. And so try to best help inform you so that you can make the best decision for yourself and for your family, especially if you guys are planning to move to this area.
All right, so when you're thinking about moving to the Shreveport-Bossier area, Northwest Louisiana, one of the things that most people would be most concerned with is what kind of jobs can I look for, or what kind of job opportunities are out there. So just wanted to kind of hit on some of those major top points, at least from my perspective. Of course, you can look through like the Bureau of Labor Statistics and see what kind of job, employment criteria are out there, or employment opportunities. But just from someone who's been in this area for about 25 years off and on, from my perspective, in the areas that I know the most is when you're thinking of top jobs, one of the areas that I think is really kind of oversaturated here is going to be your hospital systems. So if you're coming to move into this area and you're concerned about what type of hospitals are here, whether it's for your own personal health or maybe you're a healthcare worker and you're looking for opportunities for employment, we have three major kind of medical systems here. Willis-Knighton is probably one of our largest. Willis-Knighton is a system, I think it has maybe 5 major facilities, but they're going to cover everything from your normal primary care stuff, OBGYN stuff, cancer care, orthopedic care, sports medicine, all of those things. So that's going to be there. The other system that we have is called Ochsner. That system is relatively new to our area, but not new to Louisiana or South Louisiana. So it's a very strong healthcare system as well. They have a number of different clinics that are coming up and hospitals that are being built. So that's been good. They are also, and one thing that's really important is, they are also in collaboration with our LSU Health Sciences Medical School out of Shreveport. So your medical students, your interns, your residents, those types of things will be able to have your, obviously your medical school, but then also your residencies as well that will be located in the Shreveport area. So that's really good. And then we have Christus Shumpert has a few facilities here as well. That's another healthcare system that can provide that stuff to you. Of course, there are some private facilities or other facilities that are within the community that are a little bit smaller. I just wanted to kind of hit on some of those larger hospital systems for whether it's your healthcare stuff that you're concerned with or just your overall employment status. I think you will find that you'll be satisfied in both areas. So if you're going to work here for one of those healthcare systems, I think you'll be happy with it. If you're looking for, I wonder if they have these types of services in the Shreveport-Bossier area, I think you'll be happy with that as well. Because of course, that's a big concern when you're moving to a new area. You want to make sure that medically they can sustain that. And we definitely have a lot of hospitals. So I think you'll be good there. The other major kind of economic driver, if you will, or employer is going to be Barksdale Air Force Base. new, at least with that partnership. But Barksdale's been here for a very long time, so that's going to continue to move us forward and continue to support this area and this great nation. And so they have B-52s is one of our things, the big airplanes. And between the Shreveport-Bossier area and the Minot area, those pilots will generally kind of come back and forth. So we have a lot of people that come from the Minot area, or the Shreveport area goes back up there because of the support for the B-52 missions. And so that in itself is been good because it brings people to our area, or it moves people out of our area, and thus opens up some opportunity within real estate. Whether it's we need to build more for those people, or we have some availability as people are moving out. So Barksdale is a wonderful, wonderful thing to have in our area. It supports and employs a ton of people. So that could be an area where you're looking for employment. Obviously, if you're in the service, you already know where you're going. If you're just looking for a civilian job on usajobs.gov, you may find some opportunities for some listings of those job postings for you to apply for. So that could be an opportunity that you may want to look into. The other thing that I wanted to kind of hit on was, I would say another sector that's a very good, top job or job employer is going to be our entertainment services. So we have a number of casinos in our area. Obviously, you have the main casino, so you have your hotels, you have your bars and restaurants within those, and then your live music components within those as well. Those do a great job of bringing people in and out for commerce, but they also employ a lot of people. So that could be an area that you're going to be looking at to work for. That would be great. Restaurants would be another one. We have a ton of restaurants. I know, in previous videos I've talked about some of the things that I love about Shreveport-Bossier in this area, and food and restaurants is definitely one of them. If you like Mexican restaurants, we've got a ton of those. That will be, I say Mexican, should say probably more Tex-Mex. But we have a lot of Mexican restaurants. So if you like that, you'll be in pretty good shape. And then if you like live music, we have our major arena here that can bring in so many bands come through there. So that's a great spot, but it also employs a lot of people, and it also gives us something to do for entertainment. So that's a good spot for us as well. I would say probably our last one, and one that's a little bit maybe sporadic, is our oil and gas sector. And I say sporadic just because it can be so spread out now that, different companies or whatnot are doing things like fracking and stuff like that, and horizontal drilling. It's kind of moved things a little bit, but what's really continues to be here is going to be those support services like equipment rental stuff, pump maintenance, pump servicing. We do have some refinement in the area as well. So that particular sector of oil and gas, whether it's landman stuff where you're doing leasing of minerals, or if it's the support services, power washing, whatever that system requires. So the oil and gas sector in area continues to be pretty good. A few years back, they hit the Haynesville shale. I say a few years, probably been 15 or 20, but that shale of gas has been a great boom for our area, and will continue to be moving forward. So I just wanted to kind of hit on those, what I see are like our top job areas, opportunities for you to whether you're coming to this area for that type of work, or you want to utilize those types of services, whether it's our health and hospital systems are very good. Our entertainment systems are really good. Oil and gas obviously is going to be a good sector. And then Barksdale is just a wonderful partner in this area. And so if you're a military member and you're already coming to this area, stay tuned, and we'll have some more videos on this type of stuff, because it's really important when you're moving to this area that you kind of have a good feel for the schools or the different areas that are out there. And so we'll kind of cover those in some other videos, but just wanted to hit on some of those things that may cause some questions about moving to this great area of Northwest Louisiana. So stay tuned. I appreciate you.